Hello everyone, I am going to show you me using some acrylic skin shapes in UV resin. Now this is an acrylic skin. I make these out of paint and each one is absolutely unique because they're done in a kind of abstract way. And that's just an example of an acrylic skin paint. Some of them can be really shiny, others can be quite matte like this one. They can have metallics in them, they can be pinks, greens, blues, purples, you know, lots of different things, blacks and whites. Anyway, so that's an acrylic skin, and then from these I actually cut shapes. Now these are some really small ones that I've cut here, and some snowmen, snowflakes, snowballs, some little reindeer and some Christmas trees. And this is what I'm going to be using this evening. Right, okay. I do sell the skins and the shapes, so it's, you know, if you want to have a go at this, you can absolutely contact me or go onto my Etsy and you can see some options there. So, right, first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this new pen that I've discovered, Snowmaker, and I'm going to try and stock these as well. Snow marker, sorry. And what you can do with these is you can apply heat and they create snow effects. So on this bit of, what is this called? Laminated sheet of some sort. I am going to make some snow. So I'm just gonna do some little white dots. Now sometimes when you use these, the first 2 or 3 times you use them, when you push down, you get quite a flood, but don't let that be wasted. Pick it up with the nib and dot it. So if you do suddenly get an explosion of white ink, take it, don't lose it. Use it with a toothpick, a paintbrush, anything you can to scoop it up and put it into whatever you want. So once I've made my little dots, I'm going to go over them with a little bit more of this white snow paint. It's a little bit smelly, but I can cope with it, so hopefully you can too. Well, we'll just try that for now. And then I'm going to use my heat gun and I'm going to heat directly on top, trying not to get my fingers hurt. And this is why I'm doing it on a solid base, because if I was doing it on a bit of plastic, the plastic would melt. But I found this laminate, once it's been laminated and is actually, you know, stiff, it doesn't really melt too badly with the heat gun. You can see it's curled up a little bit, but it hasn't melted. Right, okay, so I'm going to put some heat on, zoom in so you can see the effect that this has. These are tiny little dots, so it's not going to have a massive effect, but just to give you an example, that's it on a larger scale. Don't ask what that was. It was a test piece that didn't work, but this is what I'm trying to go for here, but with just snow. Ready? Right, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of popped like popcorn. Can you see it's all raised now, like little snowballs or snowflakes? And then once that's cooled down, I can simply just either using my tweezers or my nail, just pop them off, and then I can put them in things. So we'll just put that to one side. So I'm going to make Christmas decorations out of these earring molds, because I thought, why not? Just because it says it's an earring mold doesn't have to be an earring mold. So I was thinking of maybe like a snowman, or maybe a snowman over here. I mean, that looks silly, doesn't it? What does that look like? Does that look silly? Maybe just the snowman. Just the snowman there. And then maybe in this one, a snowflake. And then when we do it again, we can maybe put the little reindeer in something smaller. We'll have a think, because I've got a couple of other things I want to try. So first off, I want to do a backdrop of UV resin with glitter. So I'm using, what am I using? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Everyone? Ah, there we go. No, that wasn't what I was using. Sorry everyone, just bear with me 1 second while I grab something. There it is. So I'm using one of these little silicone measuring jugs, and I'm going to put a little bit of hollow glitter in. I've just named it hollow glitter, and I most likely got this from Yvonne Bishop in the Resin Supplies Den group, and it's very sparkly. Don't know if you're picking that up. So I'm just going to put that much in there to start with. Scientifically measured, of course not. And then I'm going to use Vista Lumin UV resin. I've just spilled something, so just bear with me while I have a little soak up here of some liquid I've just spilled. Nothing chemically, don't worry, just some water. Okay, that's better. Okie dokie. Right, okay, so where were we? We're going to add some UV resin. Okay, and then I'm just going to stir that up. Now I've got this little plastic stirrer that I use for UV resin, so I will just stir that up in there, mix those glitters in. Once I'm at a point where I'm going to start touching all of this, I'm going to put my gloves on. Don't worry, everyone's screaming, where are your gloves? I'm going to put them on any second. There you go. So I want that to be quite thick and full of glitter. Right, gloves are going on. Mould is over here, like so. And then I'm just going to use a little lolly stick to spoon this out. I mean, this is, can you see the glitter? I'm going to use a lolly. Shall I just use that rather than dirty something else? Let's see how I get on with just that. I only want a very thin layer on the back, because what we're seeing at the front is going to be my front. So I'm not doing this as a face down mould. I'm doing it as a face up mould. I'm just going to have a tiny little bit more resin in there. So this is UV resin. So the next step will be for me to cure this under the UV lamp. And because it's quite thick with glitters, I'm going to have to cure it for quite a while. So sometimes you can get away with just a minute or two for the base layer, because you're going to keep curing it when you put your next layers in. But because I've put quite a lot of glitter in there, it might take a bit longer to cure. So I'll pop this under the lamp for 5 minutes, check it, and then we can see where we go from there. So I'll be back as soon as that's done. Right, while that's under there, I've got quite a lot still in here, so I'm going to pour more UV resin in there, like so. And then I'm going to stir it up again. And this time I'm going to use this little snail mould, and I'm going to pour this UV resin in there. Now this won't have as much glitter in because I've kind of used the leftover glitter and just added clear resin. And what I want to do is get this snowflake and pop him in like so. And then I'm going to put him under the lamp. So I haven't filled him up completely, just enough to set the snowflake in there. So he'll go under the lamp now as well. And then we will come back and see how these two are getting on. Okay, so this one's had its first layer, and I'm going to get my snowman that I've got cut, and I'm going to pop that there, and then I'm going to go back to here. Do you remember we were making these little snowflakes? And I'm just going to pop them off, and oh, that's not going to work. Let's use a toothpick. Pop them down onto there. I actually find that this works better if I just use my nail normally, but because I've got the gloves on, I can't be bothered to take them off. Now the good thing about this is anyone who uses UV resin knows, oh that's not very good, the surface can stay quite tacky once it's cured, so actually it's perfect for doing this at this point because it's got a kind of tacky surface that these little snowflakes will stick to. Come on, she says as they don't come off. What do we think? Couple more? Just one more? There we go, that should do. Now you might find that when you put the next layer of resin in, they start to float, but we can always use the little toothpick to move them around. Okay. Pop in some bubbles there, making sure it's gone right to the edges. Moving my little snowflakes around. And then going all the way around the edge to get rid of any bubbles. I might get another little snowflake, sorry, and pop him on the snowman, because snow doesn't just fall around us, it falls on us as well, doesn't it? There we go. So I will put that, I'll give it a little squirt of alcohol just to get rid of the bubbles. I'll put that under the UV lamp. Now that's quite a thick layer, so that's going to be a good 10 minutes or so, and then we will see what it's like. Right, so in the meantime, my little snail has cured. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of glitter again to there, and then put some more UV resin in here. And then give it another stir up. And then pour the rest of that in there. Just make sure I'm shielding it from the UV light, because I've got the UV lamp on for the other thing that we're making. I might have to put a bit more UV resin in there. Mix it up again. Use up all of the glitters that's in there. Oh, I'm not quite there, am I? Need just a little bit more. Now you can do this with normal resin, and it doesn't have to be UV resin. I just fancied making something quick. There we go. Let me just wipe that off. That is absolutely covered in glitter. Okay, and a quick squirt, and then I shall put that under the lamp, and again I shall show you it in a bit. We'll see what it comes out like. Okay, so that one's now set. Now what I'm going to do now is, even though it needs another layer, I'm going to take it out of the mould, because the mould, if you leave it in the mould when you're doing all the layers, it can sometimes curl up and you can end up losing the shape. So as you can see, if I just show you it like this, there's the light in here is terrible. Just realised how bad it is, especially with my shadow there. There's the finished-ish piece. You can see the snowman there with the snow and all the glitter. So I will tidy up the edge here, and then I will give it one more coat. And I won't worry about whether or not I fill the hole in, because I can always drill it again afterwards. Yeah, I wonder if you can see this in the light the way I can see it, like that. I think it's quite nice. Little, completely unique snowman. No one would ever be able to copy the patternation of that. Some little snowflakes and some glitters. So I will show you that when that's tidied up and finished. Right, so here is the little snail that we made, and I've already noticed that it hasn't gone into his little antenna. So unfortunately on this occasion I think it hasn't filled the mould, but it should give us an example of using the skins in something other than just a flat surface. Now I have had this under the lamp for a little while, on its side, on its front, on its back, and so I'm hoping that it's cured all the way through. We'll soon find out, won't we? So you can see that I've put too much glitter in that. Oh, that's a shame. I've put too much glitter in, so you can't actually see the snowflake. And as I said, it didn't fill these two little bits, the antennae. So that's user error. I've done that wrong. You see from the top, you can kind of make out that the snowflake is in there. But yeah, I've too much glitter. That said, I still really like him, and I might try and rescue him and put something on there for his little antennae. Antenna? I don't know. These little bits. Oh, I might just leave him. I don't know yet. But that is a little snail made with glitters and UV resin, and it should have shown the snowflake inside, but as I said, I've put too much glitter in there, so it's kind of hidden it. Hopefully that's a little demonstration of how you can use these in resin. This has now finished cooking, as it were. So let me zoom out a little bit, and then let me put it on something so you can see it up close. So that is going to be a little Christmas. This is for me. I'm not selling this. This is just going to be for my little tree in here in my studio. I'm going to have some little Christmas ornaments on it, but it's only going to be a very small tree, so I only want really small ornaments. And that's going to have my little snowman, my little snowflakes from the snow pen, which is this one, snow marker. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm sad that the snowflake isn't showing through there, but I know it's in there. So when I put a little hook on this, I'll drill a little hole there, put my little twisty hook on, and that'll just be another little decoration for my own tree.